Hello, and welcome to our Maundy Thursday reflection for East Telford benefice. Maundy Thursday, a day that is so often overlooked in favour of Good Friday and Easter Sunday, but such an important part of Holy Week, understated and melancholic, yet so meaningful and precious. The Easter Triduum for us begins with the liturgy on Maundy Thursday. We see Jesus washing the disciples' feet, celebrating the Last Supper in a room hidden from view, commanding them to love one another. We also see him praying in the Garden of Gethsemane, asking his sleepy disciples to stay awake and share his pain and fear, which they seem unable to do. I have special memories of sharing the Easter Triduum with my friend Pauline, the chaplaincy team at Stoke Heath Prison, and some of the inmates over a period of many years. The chapel would be laid out with the different scenes on Maundy Thursday. We would start with a prayer and a quiet hymn in the outer room, and then progress into the first corner of the chapel. Here, a table was laden with food and drink, goodies on display that the men would not normally be able to enjoy. We would read the relevant gospel, and then the ministers would wash our hands and feet. Not many were brave enough to have their feet washed, but one or two men did, and you could tangibly feel the awe that someone was prepared to do that for them, given their position in life. Then, having been patient, we served one another with food and drink. There was good-natured banter and easy conversation. For those who had not experienced this before, a sense of bemusement and wonder at what was going to come next. Next was my favourite part, the Garden of Gethsemane. Set in the far corner of the chapel, marked by a wall of chairs and filled with cushions and blankets. We would settle down and then sing Stay With Me, a Taizé chant with overlaid verses that you can hear playing in the background now. I felt so supported by the lads whilst I sang the verses and they carried on with the underlying chant. We were trying to imagine Jesus wanting support from his disciples and finding they'd fallen asleep despite his repeated requests, leaving him to suffer alone and isolated. Here in the little chapel, we were as one, trying to imagine the feeling on that original Maundy Thursday. Finally, we would gather for a final prayer and reflection in front of the altar. Then it would be stripped bare. We would leave in silence and contemplation. Those simple actions, sharing Jesus' journey the day before his death on the cross, were so poignant and memorable, all the more so for the company we were keeping. Reminiscent of Jesus befriending the sinner, we spent time behind bars and locked doors, with wire fences, with men charged with a variety of different crimes, and it felt so right and so humbling. There was a naivety to the responses of many, and this flavoured our own responses, made the remembered grief, pain and sorrow so tangible. It brought us closer to God and Jesus. Such a privilege to share raw human emotions and experiences with those whom society shuns, who are but human and sinners, as are we all. In some ways, the men reminded Pauline and I of the disciples. Is this how it was for them? Not quite sure what was going on, not knowing what the future would hold. So today, take time to remember Jesus' sorrow and distress. Take time to think of those who may be experiencing sorrow and distress. Pray for them with your whole heart. Ask God for his comfort and presence. Stay with them all, as you will stay with Jesus this night.